Dear listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to Al Bayan Arabic Foundation Khalid Tadal program. Today we are inviting our usual guest, journalist Latheef Farook, to discuss one of the important topic. And I can say this is a vital issue of our Muslim community all over the world. And first of all, inshallah, I welcome Latheef Farook. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
After a few weeks, we are starting again another program, Alhamdulillah. And today's topic is very important, as I am saying. This is a vital issue, and also it is very concerning about Muslim Ummah. And as I know, and you know, all the Sri Lankan new today, they are celebrating the independence of Sri Lanka, 74th Independent Days. At the same time, in South Asia, another country, and Kashmir, they are fighting for freedom for more than 74 years. So today we're going to discuss Kashmiris, what they need, or what do Kashmiri want. And inshallah, to start, I would like to ask the first question. Kashmiris in Kashmir and worldwide observing now and Kashmiri Solidarity Day, tomorrow the Solidarity Day. What is the significance of this Solidarity Day?
As you know, Kashmiris remain one of the most brutalized and oppressed people in the whole world for more than 3/4 century. United Nations passed a resolution on February 5th saying that a plebiscite should be held as agreed by India and Pakistan and allow the Kashmiris to decide their destiny. So give them the chance to vote either to join India or to join Pakistan or to go free, independent. So what the Kashmiris are asking worldwide is a promise, fulfill their promise. They are asking United Nations to fulfill the promise. They are asking India to fulfill the promise. India is not doing anything. Instead of India is trying to grab, brutalize and take over Kashmir. That's the issue. So they are asking to hold the plebiscite. That's all. They are not asking for a moon or sun or anything yet. They said, this is basic human rights. They want to live like human beings here, with their dignity, with their freedom here. That's why they're asking. Implement the UN resolution.
Okay.
Backed by almost all countries in the world here. Yeah.
Yeah, recently I came to know you published a book called Hindutva Violence Against Minorities in India.
Yes.
Especially when you are talking about the minorities, you talk about the Muslims.
Yeah.
And when it's come to Kashmiri also, they were majority Muslims. And in this context, what is the situation in Kashmir and the miserable plight of the Kashmir, if I want to say, in their daily life? What are the things that daily life affecting in nowadays? Maybe I can say Indian oppressed or Indian occupation is continuing. And if I'm living in Kashmir, what is the situation? Can you explain daily routine, what is happening there?
You see, it is impossible to live in Kashmir. It is army is the real rulers there. They can arrest people arbitrarily. They can torture people. They can detain the people. They can, this is going on for the last, since independence, I would say, maybe more than half a century. So, see, abruptly they can go to a house, arrest the people, and beat the people, take them to custody, and rape women, and sometimes raping women in the presence of the children here. The family members here. So this type of atrocities is going to continue, but the West is not helping to solve this problem. West is with India. So, and that's a tragedy, and United Nations has become helpless. So, but they are not going to give up. They are not going to give up this. Their struggle for freedom. You see now, today there was a report saying that last year alone, 2000, about 550 Kashmiris are killed. No valid reason here. And they organize these killings here, fake killings here. So see, you are afraid to go out. You are afraid inside your house. And in this context, now see, masjid has been closed for the last so many years. So many masjid. So Friday prayers, they can't go. Daily prayers, I don't know what's happening there. So life is, if you ask me, a miserable life. So in this miserable life, they have to continue the economic activities, social activities, cultural activities. So it is they have Kashmiris have become a psychological affected people. The whole Kashmiri nation as a whole has become psychologically affected. On the one hand, that India is actually India's strategy is to crush them and subdue them. They don't want to give them freedom here. From the beginning, India adopted deception as the key to deal with corruption. Every time they told. Now, for example, Lord Avebury, Amnesty International chief at one stage, he said, see, India in the international forum talks about human rights, all good qualities, human qualities. But when it comes to Kashmir, deception is the main dominating factor in dealing with Kashmir. So see, this is a situation that daily life is impossible. But they are not going to give up. The misery they have passed through is so bad. In 1991, in an interview given to Guardian, London, late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi said that when you think in terms of the oppression and the atrocities committed by India, Kashmir will never be part of India. That is the situation even now. Worse. Yeah. Army is given free hand to do anything they like. They are not answerable to anybody. No law, no justice. So everybody is a terrorist there. The army and the police forces, they look at Kashmir as terrorists here. So you see, this is how is going on there. And in the meantime, their struggle for freedom, they are not going to give up.
If I'm not making mistake, this is 73 or 74th years of Kashmiris. They are fighting for their independence. And my question is, time to time in India, the government changed. And I think most of the time, Indian Congress, they were ruling India. Now BJP. And do you think both party, they have a different tactics or approach towards Kashmir or different?
Both, when you see the history of of the two parties and the attitude towards Kashmiris for the last 74 years or so, three-quarter century, both were same. So see, under Congress also, they suffered a lot here. Under Congress never fulfilled its promises. All what the Kashmiris asked him, hold a plebiscite. Allow us to decide whether we to join India or whether to join Pakistan or whether to go remain independent. So that chance they are not giving. They are not allowing. They are not holding the plebiscite, which Nehru agreed, and after that in the United Nations they agreed. In one of these February 5th UN resolutions they passed, they agreed. So, but India at every turn placing obstacle after obstacle. So, what to do? And for example, now you see, Sheikh Abdullah was arrested, put into lockup, and arrested. So he came to say, he himself came to state, okay, we'll be part of India, but give us some facilities. Even that they wouldn't give. But right now, what is happening is the peak of atrocities going on now, right now. Peak. So that's the situation here. World is watching. World is ineffective. World is with India. You see?
Yeah.
Now this Washington, London, France, Tel Aviv, Riyadh, Abu Dhabi, New Delhi axis. This is the axis.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia, because there's nothing to do with Kashmir. This is the axis. So they are, even then, they are fighting against all oppositions, locally and globally. Fighting here. This going to continue here.
Do you think anyone, any parties in India, do they have any sincere intention to give the solution to the Kashmiris?
No, there's no party.
No
Congress party miserably failed. Congress party had a lot of opportunities to sort out this problem. Nehru repeatedly said this. In a radio broadcast, Nehru promised it. He didn't do that yet. And in the United Nations says actually that, India became a joke when it comes to credibility. You see, they promise, they don't do that. They promise, they don't do that. So, number of steps one after the one after the, so many steps United Nations took. But India says dilly, never fulfilled, never wanted to give a chance to Kashmiris to decide their destiny. That they don't want to give. They know the results. The moment you hold a free and fair election, they will separate themselves from India. So they know they in advance because of atrocities. Although now the Hindutva atrocities unleashed violently by Modi government, but this has been going on for the last 75 years. Really, this has been going on since 1846 when Britain sold for 7.5 million rupees Kashmir to Raja Gulab Singh. From that onwards, atrocities going on here. He was one of the most cruel rulers in the history of this human beings, we can say. Kashmir suffered. They are very peaceful people, very good people, good Muslims. They want to live in peace. But India doesn't allow.
Okay, another things I would like to find this one. You mentioned the Washington or London or nobody get interested to solve the problem in Kashmir. But when it comes to South Sudan, maybe you know that more than me. And the South Sudan Christian people, they were asking a separate country. And within few years' time, the West came together. They separated. They gave the independence. In again, same thing. I think in Indonesia. I think what is the name? Uh, Istimo or something. I forgot the name. Yeah, they gave this independence very simply. Why this is like it took look like a long time, 74 years, very simple. I can say this is a 2-3 generation. Why we are taking this long to solve the
If the Kashmiris were Christian, they would have got the independence. If the Kashmiris were Hindus, they would have got independence. Only because they're Muslims. That is the reason.
This was in my heart. I was asking. Then they have the marginalization or also hypocrisy when it comes to Islam and the Muslims. An unfortunate situation. I would like to bring this next question regarding whenever we talk about the Kashmir, we can't take Pakistan's involvement or Pakistani's concern about the Kashmiri, because even Pakistan government announced one of the Solidarity Day in October. Yeah, every year they are marking that way. So what do you want to say about Pakistani's involvement or Pakistan? Do they have the real concern to solve the problem, or how do looking into this case? Because India is looking differently and Pakistan is looking into this case as differently. What is the Pakistani side view?
I'll complete that. Kashmir is the unfinished job of partition, unfinished part of the partition. When India was divided into Indian sub divided into Pakistan and India, so they have agreed to sort this problem out, which they are not doing it here. But however, Pakistan is the only country which stand by Kashmiris and stood by Kashmiris throughout, and to ensure the rights of Kashmiris, ensure justice Kashmiris. Pakistan went for 3 wars, major wars. So see, that's the thing here. Yeah. So Pakistan, who is the Pakistani leader that who can say no, we don't want to support Kashmiris? Nobody. Pakistani people, 100%, they are with Kashmiris. What the whole world wants is give Kashmir a chance, as agreed between Nehru and Jinnah, as agreed in the United Nations Security Council, as agreed in so many other, now see so many commissions came, delegations came, Lord Everbury and Bertrand Russell, all top people, all the people came. They all said, give them a chance, which India doesn't want to give. But they know the moment the chance is given, India will lose. Maybe at one stage, if they're done, they would have agreed to stay with India at one stage, maybe during the time of Sheikh Abdul. But now the atrocities committed, barbarity committed by the democratic governments of India, by the Congress or Modi government, Hindutva. It's not Hindutva, it is fascist regime in democratically elected fascist regime what is in India. And the Kashmiri and the Indian atrocities is not recorded. In the Western media, they don't record. But they are with India. India so-called campaign against Islamic terrorism. They are with India. They are with Israelis. So see, Western media, who controls the Western media? Jews control the Western media. So they are in hand in glove with Modi to do all this trouble because they have their own ulterior motive. But they already destroyed the Middle East. Iraq they destroyed, Libya they destroyed, Syria they destroyed. Next they want to destroy Iran. And together with India, they want to destroy Pakistan finally. That is their final target, destroying Pakistan. Divide. Like they divided Iraq into three. In Iraq into three, then Libya into so many factions, and Syria now is still bleeding. Yemen, Saudis are now destroyed. So here they want to keep them suppressed and then keep them under their control, like Israel is doing to Palestinians.
Yeah.
Same policy.
Yeah, when we are looking at Kashmiri issues, and also we can talk when it comes to Sri Lanka also, the region-wise Tamil lived in northern part and also northeast part, and they wanted separate land as Tamil Elam. Yes, and it failed. And what is I am saying here, and I heard, and also many things came in the media. Jammu Kashmir was a deeply rooted, what is called conspiracy to change the demography of the territory in Kashmir. And can you point out something about how do planning to change the demography of the Kashmir?
Prime Minister Modi's government is in league with the Israelis. The Israelis behind so many attitudes. Now, recently, about 3 to 4 days ago, in the Kashmiri media survey, there was an article, one top Kashmiri fellow saying, Kashmiri policy is framed and done by Israelis. Same policy. What they are doing there? But they don't give any Palestinians any right there, crushing them here, crushing them. Here they are doing the same thing. But now the new system after the Article 370 was removed and Kashmir was annexed by Modi government. What they are doing, demography they are changing. They want to colonize the area with Hindus, which the process already started. You see that now recently about 290 acres they took near in Kashmir, in Srinagar. Like that they think maybe that now 1914, 1905, Israel is only 4%, Jews are only 4% in Palestine. But now nearly 5-6 million here. Like that, things may over a period, they can keep on suppressed. They can colonize the area with the Hindus and convert into a Hindu majority area and absorb it. But times have changed. I don't think, Modi. What is Modi? Modi's background is known. Modi is not a democratic man. He is not a man, a law-abiding man. He committed genocide on Gujarati Muslims. And he was declared persona non grata by every country. But now, it was showing the Western hypocrisy. Did they say, no, he's not a good man. He's a man who committed genocide. We don't want to deal with him. No, they didn't say that. They are against them here. But the Modi's agenda suits their agenda. So this is what I mean. The ulterior motive is to colonize the place with Hindus, make them majority, finish the Kashmir issue. So it will be a very, it's an impossible task. 1905 and 1948 is not 2022.
Yeah. And I would like to ask this one because 2-3 times you pointed Israeli involvement and Zionist involvement. And I would like to ask the impact of Israeli and India ties and how much it is effect on Kashmir issue.
Well, in here?
Kashmir, especially on Kashmir issue, the Israeli and the India ties, how much is affecting?
Very strong. Very strong. Very strong. Because every time last couple of years, when Modi unleashed violence against, they used pellets. And these pellets were used by, they either supplied by or used by Israelis here. Israelis took part in the oppression of Kashmiris. There was the very respectable journalist called Robert Fisk. About a year before he died, he wrote a nice article about Israel in Kashmir. How Israel is guiding India to do what they want in Kashmir. But they have an idea. Final idea is to destroy Pakistan, divide Pakistan into two. So this is the Israeli motive here. So now, right now, Israel is in India. I'm sorry, Israel is in BJP hand in glove in killing Muslims, suppressing Muslims. They are hand in glove. Are they? Did you ever see any negative story about BJP atrocities on Indian Muslims? Not much. They don't see in the Western papers. So that they can't write here about it. They project him as a man, okay, but people are suffering in India. They don't say that here. You see, how do you live in a country where a Muslim girl working for the defense in Delhi kidnapped and that 52 times stabbed? And I can't describe more. And even a breast was chopped and taken off. Gangra prayer is this country. Now, recently, about a month ago, some Hindu priests, they call them priests, they are all thugs and hooligans here, murderers here, murderous thugs. They said there should be genocide of 20 million Muslims. Can you believe it? But what has the Indian government done? Nothing. What has the Muslim government done? Muslim governments have gone bankrupt. There is no Muslim world as such. France, Britain, India are ruling the Muslim countries with dictators, tyrants. Yeah. Now, for example, you see that Saudi Arabia, the land of Islam, there the rulers are very comfortable with RSS, very comfortable with the Israelis here. And you see Abu Dhabi is run by whom? RSS fellows here. You see, the people don't talk here, but everybody speaks about it individually. They won't talk well. They won't write about it here. Now I tell you, let's go. This is the situation here. So, but people in India, they begin to see this. We must be very careful in thinking about these Hindus and Hindutva, RSS and BJP ideology has nothing to do with Hinduism. There is nowhere in Hinduism which says go and kill Muslims, go and kill the low caste, go and kill the Christian. No, nowhere near. This is a fascist ideology. British government, before they left India, they carefully screened and selected a bunch of racist lunatics and created this RSS. And later Shiv Sena, Bajrang Dal, BJP all came here. France. Atrocities committed towards Muslims, Christians, and Dalit in India. How can you call this a democratic country? So Kashmir is a part of that here. Kashmir, they will never allow Kashmir to suppress. Never allow Kashmir to come up in life here.
Yes, our title was today, what do Kashmir want? And when you are discussing and India and ruling party and opposition party and the party rule from the beginning to now, and they don't have any interest to solve the problem. At the same time, you were mentioning about United Nations, and the same time you mentioned if the Kashmiris are Hindus or the what do we call it, the
Christians.
Problem was solved and they got the independence. So here I would like to ask again. You mentioned the Muslim countries like Dubai and Saudi Arabia, and in the bigger picture, Organization of Islamic Countries (OIC) and Kashmir issue, and normally they said OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries, and also Muslims all over the world. They are concerning about Muslims in Sri Lanka, but what about the concern about Kashmir? Can you explain to us
about the OIC, about the Muslims here?
OIC and with the Kashmir issue.
The OIC is an organization of all Muslim countries. It's a paper tiger. It's in the paper now. There was a time, they used to meet in Casablanca, pass a resolution about Jerusalem and say, okay, we want the international community to solve the problem, and they go back to and give their life here. But right now, this Saudi government OIC is under Saudi government. It is based in Jeddah. But Saudi government is a pro-American, pro-Israeli, pro-BJP government. They have nothing to do with Islam. You see, they want to eliminate Islam from there. So that's what, did they ever take up this Kashmir issue? Now, see the number of people, Indians employed in the Gulf states. One statement from them saying that stop persecution of Muslims in Kashmir. Otherwise, we'll send all the Indians back. Modi will come to his sense. But they won't do. Now, right now, the Hindu population in Gulf, they run the economy very strong economically. They make and unmake things. They are very strong economically. Now, for example, from UAE alone, 38 to 40 billion dollar remittance going to India every year. If one message from them saying that don't stop, persecuting Kashmiris, treat them well, then they'll get the message. But they don't get they won't say that here. The Arabs are basically tyrants now. They don't represent the people. They have nothing with Islam. For example, all Arab countries, including Saudi, Abu Dhabi, Egypt, their main enemy is what? Islam. Brotherhood. Saudi Arabia banned brotherhood long ago. Egypt, all brotherhood fellows, most of them are top leaders are in jail. Some of them are killed. And Dubai, Abu Dhabi, they don't know where they are going there. See, how can they antagonize in a huge country like Iran? Iran is their neighbor. So a good friendly ties with neighbor will save a lot of money from it. Can they fight Iran? No. But the problem is, see, they are not. They are all got into the American, British, Israeli satellite now. The entire Muslim, the Middle East is now ruled by these three countries: America, Britain, France, and Israel. See. So only their job is tighten Islam, put them in jail. So that is in this environment. We can't expect OIC. OIC is to do anything towards Kashmir. For the meantime, Kashmir, despite all the sufferings, all the atrocities, they have not given up their cause. And it is likely they will not give up. It's continue. Political situation will change. We don't know how it changes. Middle East things can change in Middle East also. Middle East is a volcano awaiting to erupt as it erupted during this Arab Spring. You go and talk to talk to Egyptian, talk to Abu Dhabi, talk to Dubai people here. I'm talking about people off the record, they will tell you what they feel about it. But they can't talk. They talk means they're in jail. So they won't live out of jail here. So things will change. OIC can't do anything now. Even United Nations can't do anything. United Nations is like OIC under Saudi control. UN is under American control and Israeli control. Yeah, so they can't do anything. This fight will continue. Atrocities continue. Colonization of Kashmir also continue.
Yeah.
Under the existing circumstances.
Yes, as United Nations, it was one of my questions, but you mentioned several times they can't do anything regarding the Kashmir issue because they never wanted to do in the past. They will never do in the future also. And now the question I'm going to do this way. And we all are Muslim and we believe normally Quran and Sunnah, that is guidance for us. And always we saw our former scholars, I think Muslims, there were people, they accounting the rulers when they do some mistakes. But now, even the child can see these rulers are puppet, these rulers are doing completely against Islamic teachings. But we can't see major scholars raising their voice in public, accounting the rulers, especially when it's come to Palestine issue, when it's come to the Kashmir issue. There were the time, but now everybody's silence. I would like to give you one example. Recently, one of the famous scholar, maybe you came to know the name, Mufti Menk, and he went to Kashmir, and the Kashmiri Indian supported Muslim politician's son's wedding, and the photo came after, and he was defending his position to visit and engaging in thus a wedding. But the many people were writing comments, you were sold out alim. The reason we know what is happening in Kashmir. So if you go there, you are as a scholar, you are part of the problem. And my question is now, what do you think about the scholars and their role to get the freedom for Kashmir in the past and the present? Do the scholars are involving in the raising voice or the raising awareness?
Hizbullah.
No, the Islamic scholars.
Islamic scholars, they are raising their voice. Always you see a scholar is a very peaceful man. Scholar is a very peaceful man. Always. They are not like the tyrants who are arresting people, locking them, torturing them, killing them, like the dictators. You see, if in Saudi Arabia, how many scholars are in jail? How many are tortured? How many are killed? So see, when they are trying to speak out, even then, risking their lives, they are speaking out. Like that in India also, there are Muslims openly speaking out. They are speaking openly speaking out here. But always you must remember, India, not all Hindus are with this the Hindutva lunatics here, right? Hindutva fascists here. But you see, there are millions of Hindus. They are against this here. They wanted India to be liberal, nice country where everybody could contribute, everybody could live in peace here. Yeah. Now you talk about now. Can a scholar, Islamic scholar speak in Egypt? 60,000 people, top scholars, they are in jail. Can a scholar speak in Saudi Arabia, land of Islam? Land Allah chose to create the Kaabatullah there, build Kaabatullah. In that land, you can't talk about Islam. So what more? You see, if you go to Middle East Monitor, Middle East Eye, or the website, you will see very frequently the number of scholars subjected to barbarity and brutality. There are still a number of people, they are in prison. Some they have not seen the sunlight for 3-4 years. That's a tragedy. But in India, they are still speaking out. India is still much better than the Middle East countries. They are speaking out. That is there, but that we should admit.
Okay, I would
But
like
in
to.
India also, I have a feeling things should change, but people are fed up with this. The killing Muslims, killing Christians. Yeah.
Yeah. And at the beginning, we started, what do Kashmiri want? You pointed out Kashmiri wanted a referendum. Yeah. But this is not going to happen. And before the referendum, there should be a dialogue. Is any dialogue happening between the Kashmiri people or the who are the leaders of Kashmiris and the world, or anything happening now? Because when they are tomorrow is the day, the Kashmir Solidarity Day, February 5th. And if there is no place for dialogue, and where is the hope for Kashmiri independence or freedom?
You see, dialogue Kashmiris from the very beginning wanted dialogue. From the very beginning, they wanted dialogue. Nehru promised it, but he didn't fulfill his promise here. But even today, they want dialogue. But dialogue which will lead to a plebiscite where they can decide their destiny. They want no dialogue here. But right now, Indian government has annexed Kashmir as part of India. Can this happen? And after annexing, see what's happened in Kashmir. The same struggle continues here. Same killing continues here. Every day, more and more suppressive measures here. And it is very difficult. But despite all this oppression, killing, torture, murder, rape, everything, yet they are struggling. This will continue. They only wanted human dignity, want to live a decent life with dignity, with their rights here, which is their the birthright here. They don't give it here. India doesn't want to give it here.
Yeah. Finally, I want a few things from you this way. And what is the way forward as a Muslim community worldwide? What they can do? and also humanity, all world humanity, what they can do for Kashmiris. Two ways I'm looking: the humanity, what they can do to, because way forward, because we can't say only the atrocities happening. What is the way forward for them? What is the solution for them?
You see, the only institution which can do something is United Nations. But United Nations controlled by big powers. Powers are aligned with India. So right now, Kashmir is passing through the worst, one of the worst periods in the history of their struggle here. So unless some changes take place, for example, in the next election, if Modi is defeated, a new government comes, even then I don't know whether they will cancel this 370 articles. 370. So see, but unless Kashmiris are given their rights and they restore their dignity, they will continue to fight. So world will be a unstable place here, like Palestinians here. These are two important issues, burning issues, which is just kept on the side here. Nobody won't do anything here. And the Muslim countries, they won't do anything. Muslim countries have all their own. Please America, please Britain, please France, please Russia, and the dictator won't survive. Like in Egypt, like in Abu Dhabi, like in Saudi Arabia. You see, $100 billion worth of arms Saudi Arabia signed with America. For what? Whom are they going to fight? In Saudi Arabia, there are people without houses. Come and see, like Kashmir or Palestinian or other Muslim countries, $100 billion. What and what things you can do. But they want to please the Americans. Weapons in industry they want to please. They got the commission here. And again keep the commission in America and enjoy life. So this is unless this group is wiped out, it is. The time is almost up now because people are. You go to Morocco, go to India, Tunisia, or go to Algeria, you go to Libya. Libya, of course, they have finished off the rich country. Egypt is a volcano. It can erupt any moment here. Yeah. $60 billion who Egypt is spending on what? Importing arms. Where the Egyptian per capita daily income is $3. What is the use of it? Are they going? Is Egypt going to fight Israel? No. So why do you want to spend so much money? So these dictators are the big market for weapons manufacturers. So this chaotic situation, it is unlikely Kashmiris will see their dream fulfilled in the near future, unless the geopolitical situation changes. Yeah, which is likely.
Inshallah. And as we know and we believe, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, "Man lam yahtamma bi umur al-muslimina falaysa minna." Whoever not concerned about the Muslims, he is not among us. This is the only reason. You are from Sri Lanka, I am from England. We are talking about Kashmir. And what is the reason? Because we are following and the Quran and the Sunnah. So we have the concern about the Muslim all over the world. So when it's come to Kashmir, 74, 75 years atrocities, we can't just forget. And because normally we see the sky every day. So we don't appreciate the beauty of the sky, or that's what is called the built of the sky. We don't appreciate because every day we see. This is the way some people every day when they see the calamity, atrocities, they compromise their values. As a Muslim, we can't compromise the values because
Okay.
yeah, we can't, because Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned again. And if you see a munkar happening, you need to stop it with your hand. If you can't stop it with your hand, you need to stop with your tongue. You need to speak up. You need to side with the people who are oppressed, not the oppressors. Unfortunately, nowadays, even the Muslims are and side with the oppressors, unfortunately. And this is happening in the time of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even after. This is we call the munafiqun, yeah, the hypocrite. And this is exist. But we would like to ask all the people who are listening, and also including me and you, we need to satisfy ourselves. We need to be with the people who are oppressed. Doesn't matter who are they, Muslim or non-Muslim. We are with the people who are oppressed. If there is oppressor and we need to alarm them, we need to indicate these are the people doing all the culprit work behind the scene. And alhamdulillah, today's even few minutes you explain everything what is happening in Kashmir. Because I was thinking maybe this is India only involved, like many people. But this is not India alone. Behind India and all other people, they do the things. Because if they solve the problem one after one after one, as a human being, we can live this world peacefully. Unfortunately, nowadays, what we are seeing, witnessing in Sri Lanka also, and not the happy news, because few years Tamil and Sinhalese uh, problem, 30 years, and even before, so many times the erupted so many violence against the Muslim and minorities. Again, now we can see, and this is continue. So we need to be side with the good people and also with the right thing, with the truth. And final words regarding this Kashmir issue, if you are raising, yeah,
One
you
thing
can.
I want to tell you that you said that Muslims worldwide, Muslims, I'm talking the people, they are with Kashmir.
Yes,
Muslim tyrants who are reigning are with the West and the Indian oppressor, I would say.
yes,
People, worldwide Muslims, they are with it. And also the Kashmir oppression did not start in 19 after the partition. Partition is the unfinished job. But it started in 1846 under Raja Gulab Singh when British sold India to Kashmir to Raja Gulab Singh 7.5 million. He started the atrocities. And his atrocities almost equal to what is happening now.
yeah,
So
and
Kashmiris are used to it here. More than
yeah.
1.5 century, 150, 50 to 170 years. They're struggling. Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, I wonder from you, what is the message you're going to give to those people who are listening, the Kashmiris, maybe from all over the world? What is the message you want to give to them?
This is a Kashmiri cause, it's not a sort of an injustice. It's a justice cause. Just they are fighting for their justice. For fighting for dignity, fighting for their rights. So any respect a man who respects himself, respect his justice, respects dignity, should support Kashmiris. This
Jazakumullah khairan.
that there need not be Muslims here.
Yes,
Muslim and non-Muslims here. When it comes to justice, if there is injustice to Christians, injustice to Hindus, we Muslims should fight.
inshallah.
That's how I
Yeah.
be. Injustice.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, dear brothers and sisters. Today, Alhamdulillah, we had a very good topic. This is a vital issue of our Muslim Ummah. What do Kashmiris want? And this regards, we had so many questions regarding this. There are so many obstacles to get the freedom or the referendum for Kashmiri people. And Brother Latheef Farook, senior journalist and the author, and he explained everything. And I would like to encourage if anybody watching this one, please share this video, because tomorrow is the day, 5th February, Kashmir Solidarity Day. So please, inshallah, be with the people who are oppressed, because this is your religious duty and also social duty too. And also, I would like to ask, inshallah, those people who are willing to learn more about this, and you can search, so many details are there in the media. You can find out what is happening over there. Another thing, Brother Latheef Farook recently wrote the book called Hindutva Violence Against Minorities in India. This book is one of the very, very important book regarding the minorities. I think documentary, this one. And as I can see, one of the best documentary regarding minorities in India, especially the Muslims. How did they oppressed by the rulers and the Hindu extremists in time to time. So if anybody willing to buy this one, you can see, you can search, and you can find out from Latif Farouk's website also, inshallah. So today we will conclude this program now, and inshallah we will see you soon. Inshallah, we're going to do continue program and short program and a long program in Tamil and English, inshallah, soon. And until now, inshallah, we will meet again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brother Latheef Farook, once again, thank you very much for your
My
valuable thoughts, and thank you very much for bringing this issue on time, because so many people are involving now so many things. But Alhamdulillah, you remember these things should be spoke on that day. Alhamdulillah, we did it. Inshallah, tomorrow is the day, and we will share this video clip with other community also, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan once again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.